closest 2 to 3. I'm really grateful about that. Um, I had to take a little break, guys. I had to get away from the internet. I do recommend y'all to go check out the trailer that comes out October 13th. That will be arriving October 13th. It's here on this channel. It is being premiered here, but I will be putting up just the proof of concept trailer, which is not going to look at full volume as the final product, but just to give you an idea of what I want to go for is the point of the concept trailer. I'll also be premiering it on TikTok as well, and just really hope you guys enjoy it. Honestly, I really do. Let me see. Finally, I wanted to address this one little thing that I've been going through. I do miss really creating on this channel freely. I feel like the Kingdom Hearts sample thing was something that I was really good with using. And I had an error, and if this is how my saga goes on my channel, right? My saga on my channel will be like this. In the beat making stage, it would be the Icon series. That's when I was just getting up there, trying to figure out how this shit works, and trying to figure out what I was gonna do with the channel, if I was gonna even take it serious, because I used to just upload bullshit on there. Believe it or not, back in 2009, when I used to upload on here first, I would be uploading some shit that I just didn't care about. I started caring about it when I made my first beat, like my actual first beat that I shared with the world is on this channel. That's the Zion beat. It sounds crazy, but it's not crazy good. It's just like different. But I do find myself going back to it and amazed at how I started and how it's going now. I do feel really good about that. I do feel very impressed with myself about that. From going back in the past to now, I love revisiting those works, especially from, when I first started on YouTube to, really trying to get attention the right way outside of YouTube. Um, it was just fun. I remember when YouTube was just fun to upload, when you could do wild stuff and people would relate to it and really give you a chance to, have a blast on this app. But now it just feels a little too corporate. It's not fun. It's hard to get monetized. Um, it just I don't know. I just miss those old days. It made me think back when I was about 16, 17, 18, 19, making beats on this thing. How that era changed from what people used to just look at as today it's a norm to see beat stars and shit, but back in the day there was no beat stars. There was only like what you had. You only had YouTube for YouTube and SoundClick. If those who remember SoundClick, like when those beats you was out, man, they felt like episodes. They like those people really was making great things. Johnny Giuliano, Skate Bravo, Kuels, if he's still around, El Rello. That now El Rello was more of the YouTube era, but SoundClick era had Johnny Giuliano, Crank That. It had a couple of prominent producers at that time that really inspired people like me and my brother Skep Sean to do what we do, and it was really fun. I remember just listening to that on an MP3, going to school, going home, and just listening to these cool sounding beats, and I would just say to myself like, I don't think I ever learned how to make beats, and I remember I really thought that. Um, One day, my bro, I went over his house, and this is a little story time type of live. So if you don't mind me giving you a little bit of my backstory of something that's I've considered was special in my life, that'll be cool, you know. But my bro, Skep Sean, I went over his house one day. He had this old Millennium computer, man. Like that was the first beat ever we was ever trying to do, and it was this little fake pencil beat I made. I had recorded a pencil, right, and it really was just like a sample reverse. So it wasn't nothing too serious. It was just a sample reverse, and like I just made a beat with the pencil so I can make it hit harder or whatever. That was my first ever chance trying to figure it out, and I was like, I don't think I'll be able to do this beat making shit anymore. Um, later down the line, it was kind of cool because we had this little app on there called WavePad and Beatcraft. Beatcraft was first, and Wavecraft came after. I remember trying to just play around with samples at that point, like back in the day point, and I remember just seeing a lot of people was just like really getting into beat making slowly. Like I was hearing everybody become a producer over time, but at that point, I think people were really trying to get official with it. I remember when I went over his house and I showed him that, he was like, "Bro, how the fuck you make this?" I'm like, "What do you mean, nigga? That kind of sound kind of slick. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of sound kind of slick for real." Don't mind the background, guys. It's my girl. She's just handling some business with our daughter, and that's all. Um, but yeah, like he's like, "Bro, how did you make that sound like that?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I just reversed it." But I really, in my mind, was thinking like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make the beat hot," and then it's like, for real, it was like he was like really giving me that energy to really try to explore what I was doing with it. Cause honestly, I had sampled it and I was thinking it was nothing. Like I when I do certain stuff, I swear to God, I'll be thinking like, it is in a different level. But if I love it too much, people ain't gonna like it. That's how I always look at it. Um, so anyway, I showed him the beat, and he was like, "Bro, we got to get into this beat making shit, man. We got to make this happen." And I'm telling you, like, this was on a Windows Millennium computer back in the day, like that time frame, like a Windows Millennium computer. But here's the trip: that type of computer was old compared to like Windows 7 Vista. I didn't get the Vista yet, but I'll tell you how I got the Vista. But so after a while, me and him was just pretty much trying to just figure out how the beat making thing went off. Um, hold on, hey baby. Um, After we was figuring out how the beat making thing was trying to just work itself out or whatnot, I remember I went home to my mama's house and I was telling her like, we need to get a computer. We need to get a computer, and she would be like, "For what? So you can break it?" I'm like, "But nah, we need a computer because I want to, try stuff." "What the hell you trying to try?" And I'll be like, "I want to make some stuff off of there." You know how you would be shy with your mom and them, and you don't want to tell them what you want them to buy it for because you know what you're gonna do with it, but you don't know what to do with it yet. So it was one of them shits, and all I know, I was just telling her, "All right, if you get it, I'll clean up the house or so." I remember that little conversation, but I don't remember how far it went into it. So she snuck up with it. I remember it. To me, I felt like she snuck up, but she didn't really snuck it. Like she didn't sneak or anything. But to me, I felt like she snuck up with it because I go on my motherfucking dining room, right? What's on the floor? My biggest, but like cheeseburger smile, man. It was a fucking Windows Vista 7, Windows 7 Vista. At the time, that was like the update model. And I'm like, "Okay, so we got a new computer now." She like, "Oh, wait a minute, Neil. Nah, you ain't about to just break my shit." So I'm like, "All right, well, what can I do to use your computer?" "Well, you the professor anyway." Like, they would call me the professor because of the way I talk and how I think things through. But she's like, "You the professor anyway, so you might as well, I'm gonna have you put it up." I'm like, "All right, I'll try." So I put the computer on, and I remember my face glowing up because I'm like, "Man, if we could just make beats like what we hear on SoundClick, I would love for us to do that shit." Sean come over one day, and I think he already had a new computer at the time. I could be wrong, but hold on, baby. Hold on. I think Sean was. I think Sean was already. I think he already had the computer. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But here's the deal. He had the biggest surprise because of one thing. Now, there was a program we've been trying to get our hands on for a very long time, and he knows this damn program. The program is the infamous FL Studios 9. And I'm thinking like, bruh, if we, what the hell is that? Like, he was like, bro, you don't know what FL Studios is? I'm like, I kind of heard of it. You know how kids always say, yeah, nah, I kind of heard of it. He was like, man, that's where you make all the live ass beats that we be listening to on. I'm like, FL Studios? He said, yeah, man, that's where where you make the beats. We get the beats on there. It's gonna work out and all this shit. I'm like, okay, well, shit, if you can do it, I get it. Let's do it. So we've been trying to get that program for the longest, y'all. And when I say we've been trying to get that program, Kaya, go in there, baby. Go in there. Thank you, mama. So when I tell y'all it was the hardest thing to get just the actual system, I'm gonna tell y'all how we had to do it thugging wise. Not really like selling drugs or nothing like that. But it's like we had to use the damn demo for like damn near years. Be like, we really had to grow into that. Like, we was using the demo. Like back in the day, I don't know if they still let you do it or not, but the demos used to come with a lot of shit on there. You could make the whole beat on there. The only thing you couldn't do is you couldn't save your FLP file, but you definitely could like render out MP3s or waves and shit like that. Um, so we get the program, right? We get the program, and I'm just like, damn, we about to make beats, bro. Are you for real? We about to? It's like, man, we about to be on this shit, man. I swear to God, I was so fucking lost making beats, nigga. I was so fucking lost. I'm looking like, bruh. So is there a place I can go to learn how to do this shit? Cause I don't want to go to college and spend money for nothing. Like, sure and behold, lo and behold, YouTube had came up, and here's how they did it. People on YouTube at the time wasn't really putting music out here on this platform. They just wasn't. At that time, it was like lower channels really trying to come up. Like, you would see the Vines and stuff like if y'all remember Vine, you would see the Vines and stuff come out of nowhere, and you know that'll get you. But you really wouldn't like necessarily have anything extra big. Like, there was no castinets and none of that shit back then. You couldn't even crack 1 million back then, and if you could, you was either Soldier Boy or Justin Bieber. Like, it was really that difficult to do that back then. Hitting 1 million views back then used to get you on the Ella show or the Ellen show, if y'all remember Ella DeGeneres. That would get you on that show if you had 1 million back then. Now it's just, it ain't shit no more. But look, it's the funny thing, right? I think this was at the time when I stumbled upon Aces Galvin's music, Magic X Beats, El Relo, oh man, who else? Just the OG guys, or June Blaze Music. It was no Cash Money AP or none of that yet. This wasn't their era at the time, and it was just these guys for me. But we was listening to people on SoundClick and everything. When I tell you these dudes had inspired us, we real life wanted to do it, but nobody inspired us more than when you would say the producer community had its own type of groups. And these groups is like musical groups, right? Like, you would be an entire band of producers, and you would basically like be on a squad, if you want to call it that. And it was cool because it was the first ever beat band, if you want to call it. Not DJ London, and I remember DJ London and DJ Sonic Freak and all them, but it was named Ocean Life. I remember on YouTube you would put # Ocean Life, hashtag Ocean Life. And I remember this era because it was so many producers that worked with them, and them dudes was raw as fuck with the beats to us at that time. When I tell you Jimmy Neutron was like the highest producer in our head on this platform at the time, that shit really was like, what the fuck? Like, not Jimmy Neutron, the cartoon character. It was a producer named Jimmy Neutron. I'm hoping he get his name back, because he real life inspired us to move, like really get on this platform and do some shit with it. Because he would make some of these most epic ass sound, and at the time nobody was doing the 808 bouncing through the other ears and shit. Nobody was learning how to make new sounds and chemistries on the beats and shit. Nobody was just doing that back then. People back there was still stuck on like old school rhythm from the 80s, P-Funk type of sounds and stuff. Or like the Jeezy era was dope though. To me, I felt like the trap era really brought in producers. That was the dopest part. Shorty Red, when we heard Lex Luger and Southside, them niggas turned the game up. Them niggas turned the game up. I'm telling you, nobody had that shit rawer than them two dudes right there. And then it was so weird because at this time, those was the hottest names to us. So we get on this platform, and at first it was just me because I remember he ended up starting his channel just a little late, my brother Sean. Um, I get on this platform and I just didn't take it serious first. Like if you go back to my older beats, and which I labeled them under Icon season 1 to 7, they on the actual front page of here. If you go back to that and you hear that old sound, that's because I really wanted to do something different, right? Even with the not as impressive beats, right? I wanted to just do something different with that sound. Like I wanted to make my shit sound like a movie. I always wanted that. Like no matter what. I remember Shaxter 1000 was out, and his shit was just, oh my god, that shit was just so musical for real. Everybody on the platform was just their own lane. That nobody copied each other. People was just, if you got inspired, you had to kill it though. Like you had to kill it. But Ocean Life, they was huge, and then out of nowhere, I think it was the Adult Swim crew, or what you would consider lo-fi now, but back then we would call it Adult Swim bumps. You would have legendary people like Magic X Beats, who brought in the Adult Swim bump era even more. At that time, when people wasn't even sure if it would continue or not, because Adult Swim had something with those bumps. It would be like these commercial breaks and with these live ass beats they had put on there. But they was the first on YouTube though. Like Aces Galvin and Magic X Beats, they were the first ever on this platform. And I'm saying this for y'all so that the people stop forgetting who really did the work on this platform. Magic X Beats, Aces Galvin, Lurix Burdocks, them was the people who really put out the Adult Swim bump era out here. And then you had your legendary people. I can't say his name. They were a lot of them was like Chinese and Japanese producers. They made legendary Adult Swim stuff. So I had a mixture of Adult Swim bumps and the trap sound that I basically got. That's why if you listen to my beats, they feel like a mixture of something. So it is. I'm revealing this to y'all now. So for those who watch it, I see you watch it. So I am revealing this, but my sound consists of like the mixture of Adult Swim and trap. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to make bizarre, beautiful sounding beats, abstract at most. I think I at the time I really didn't crack anything huge on my channel at all. I didn't really have anybody really watching this shit on here. Like it wasn't many people that really knew about me even making beats on here. I remember once I started getting my idea of, hey, this is how you do it. I left YouTube, came back because I had a heartbreak, and the heartbreak kind of inspired me to make something special, and that was the Polisher Kingdom Hearts style beats. I think for real, me and Natsu, who else is another person? If y'all want me to be honest, the person who really brought the anime shit to the game was Skepshon, because he was the first producer I ever seen that really dedicated his music into that field and got a following in that. I think I was the first ever producer to really push the KH sound to a level that you never got a chance to even hear, but you definitely were impressed with once you heard it. I know I really ushered that in as far as like really changing transitions and stuff like that. I know he ushered in the landscape of, you know, that anime type of sound for real. So I'm only saying this so that because people don't remember that era as much. So I'm just trying to get people to remember that era, who really ushered in what on this platform. Because YouTube, believe it or not, was not huge yet. Even with the Soldier Boy coming out on the platform and blowing it up. Even with Justin Bieber, it was like people were starting channels, but they would leave their channels. They wasn't really dedicated to it until they brought the pay system here. That's when people start getting on here and they started, really starting to make channels and shit. So, but yeah, back to the story. I would say I start getting good when I start getting my heart broke, and I made like the polished Kingdom Hearts type of beats, and then I just said, you know what? I don't want it to drag on, but I will try to sample this thing. But what if I just come up with this new thing? What if I just go in whatever direction I feel? And I just started doing that. I didn't know people was gonna like it though. I really didn't. They had people in Spain playing the shit, so I knew it was something special about the beats that I put on this channel. But I feel like that was a saga where I really wanted to just learn this stuff for what I heard in my head, and rather than the business of what was going on around me. Um, Me and Skepshon, we started really getting good with our beats. We did a lot of collaborations together that people probably never you didn't get to hear, because again, we finally upgraded from the what was it, the FL9, in which I want to go back to that real quick. For the FL9 story, we did eventually end up getting FL. He bought it first, and then I ain't gonna lie, somebody gave it to me for a birthday gift, and that was the FL Studios 11. I think 11, I made some of the best shit I ever created on 11. I really do. I think FL Studios 11, and I might be wrong. Sean might be able to let me know which one it was, but I think 9 was when I started learning the shit. 10, I really didn't get to do too much with that, but 11, FL Studios 11, man, I started really learning that shit. I started doing some shit on here. I admit that. I think I did some shit on here. And I remember a few people, I won't say too much, but some of them that will watch my channel, they went on to do good things with their life, and it made me happy and somewhat proud that they really just did it on their own, and they didn't need nobody to tell them what to do. Like, I'll never tell their names. They don't know I know this, but they are huge now. But I do say thank you to them for just taking this shit serious and excelling to the next level. Um, I think FL11 was my favorite one because I could do so much shit with the hi-hats. And if you go to season 3, you can hear that I'm getting an idea of what I want to get for my sound. But season 4, I believe, that's when I mastered it, because everything started tapping in to what I needed it to be in the Icon series. Um, I had every FL Studios up to the FL21. After that, I kind of tapped out of FL because they started going in like the Pro Tools route and shit. So I don't know what the hell that was about. Um, Man, I'll give y'all some more stories next time too on this part, because I would love to just tell y'all that era. Like, that era to me was the fun YouTube. That was when you could just get on a person's page, hey, come check me out. They usually will or won't, but they usually do. I like this era because everybody's really tuning into each other's content. They're really checking it out. They're really giving everybody a chance, and I think that's the new era. And I hope we spark more shows and stuff like Berry Tales, or the guy who did the Dragon Ball Z cartoons, or the abridged series, how the abridged series was when 4-Star used to be around and do it. I hope they come out with more content. That's what my purpose of making this 13 show is. I want to make some content that you like, you know what, I remember that era. And if I can be a part of that, that'd be great. I know I've been around, for real. I've really been around in a different amount of eras. I didn't have a prominent part to it, but if you look into it, you can see I've been around for a long time, and I had my shares with a lot of good things. As far as success, I won't say I've really reached the success I'm aiming for, but I think personally, to me as an independent artist, I got a chance to do what I wanted to do. Um, I got a sound that only I can make, and I have an idea that is about to expand. It's not gonna be clean and cutthroat. It's not gonna be like clean animation on this thing that I'm making all the way, but I do want to just express my ability to be a filmmaker. So it's really for that. I want to just give y'all something for this channel that was like how the Icon series was, or how haiku when I did the haiku series out of nowhere, and that was when I had left YouTube, and I said, you know what, I'm slowly start tapping out to get into the artistry for real. When I really got into my artistry name, um, I came back to YouTube, and now I ended up creating the haiku series, and that was fun to do because it really snuck me back into making beats on this channel again, which I am gonna be wanting to continue, but I have evolved it to some shit that I hope y'all like. That's what I'm just saying. Like, whatever this is that I got for y'all, I hope y'all really fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I do definitely work hard on it. Um, but yeah, I love the old era. It makes me sad sometimes because some of them channels ain't even up no more. The old YouTube channels that you used to go to and love. I remember I used to watch. It was the two dudes. They. I thought they were brothers, but they used to make spoofs or skits and shit, right? Um, Smack or Smack, Smolsno or something like that. It was them. I remember. I knew I was watching Jeremy Johns. I knew I was watching Chris Stunkman. I know I was watching the Flick Pick. I was watching Grace Randolph. I think her views are really but I remember when she was just starting out in the channel and she was blowing up. Um, I remember all of these people, like for real. I remember they had just regular YouTube channels before they blew up, and you could really, they were really just down to earth for real. I think Jeremy like the only one from that era that I know of that might be down to earth right now. A lot of them, they going through some issues mentally and some other stuff, but I did love that era too. That's what also made me want to continue making beats and stuff on this channel. I did the icon. You can consider that as an era. So the icon era, you got the post icon era, which is like when the YouTube channel died, and then you got the haiku era, which I feel like it's best to wrap that up now. Which I feel like I've wrapped it up pretty well. So enjoy all four of our haikus. As we enter the new era, this is more of the, what can we name this era? The animated era or the filmmaking era. This is where we really get to see content from me really come out. I'm just trying to make sure that it's good, though, because this is my first time doing this shit. So I am preparing to release an actual real movie. I am working independently I'm going to be financing it and everything. So I just want to use this show as a prototype to kind of introduce my skills in the story element of it. If I can see something doesn't work, I won't put it into the main product, which is Children of Diamonds. But 13 is the first step to that. And then after 13, we can go into Mecha Falls. If y'all don't know what these are, just in the haiku series, I've mentioned these names before, and that was only like at the end of each volume. It was the end of it. So if you haven't recognized it, I put it up there, and I was basically working on it over the years. But as we enter this new era, the haiku series is over. Um, I think we're gonna have a good time just creating new stories. This is what I would like to call the story arc era. This is where we just make new stories. We combine the beats together, with the beats evolve into these little one-off stories, or maybe even more big stories. Or I really just want a series. I just want to see if I can run a series right or not. Like I did before, when I did with the Icon series. I didn't know what I was doing. Haiku series, I didn't know if anybody would give a shit. But I like the fact that when people heard it, they were impressed. I ended up impressing a lot of people. I thought Square Enix was gonna take my shit down, but they was like, "No, we like this." I'm not saying they liked it. I'm not saying that's what Square said, but I know for sure they know of my channel and they probably done heard it already. If not, they team have had an ID detection on this thing and had to see it. Like, this guy's dope. Like, we're not gonna take his shit down. He's good. He's promoting the show. I mean, shit, because I'm like I said, I was in love with Kingdom Hearts. It was the best shit in the world to me. It saved my life for real. It saved my life from being in prison. It saved my life from dying. Because that game had given me hope for real, and being a creator and being life. Just loving myself. That's a really dope series. I just wish that it got treated better as far as, storytelling. But we are entering the end of that. So I am interested to see how the creator ends it. I know he's going to do well. He's going to knock it out the park. Um, there's no DLCs, no mobile expansions. Just let's leave it to the story. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to get on here and give y'all a little update on what we're doing. The lives are gonna continue. I just wanted to take a break from the internet because right now I am going through some things, and I just want to get my health back right now. Um, as far as the 13 series, yes, that is coming. So please be prepared for the trailer. Give me feedback if you like it. What do you think what I can improve on? How do you like the edit? It's not gonna be like a high budget thing. It's low budget. I'm telling you now, this is a low budget project that I'm releasing strictly for me to give out a story. That's all. I just want to see if I can tell a good story with this thing. I am nervous. Yeah, I'm saying I ain't gonna cap. I'm trying to get it done before Christmas. I'm trying to get it done before Christmas. I ain't gonna cap. I am really trying to get this done before Christmas. At least the first part. There's gonna be 4 parts, so the first part I want to get that done before Christmas so that I can get it out to y'all sooner. If not, hopefully by March. But I'm gonna say we gonna aim for Christmas, or at least I might share a scene if we're not done at that time. I don't know, but yeah, man, many things. I want this channel to turn into a film channel. I want this channel to be about real live movies and stuff, and we get to talk about it, good or bad, make it happen. Let me go ahead and get out of here, though, man. I wish all y'all families love and success, safety, and peace out. Love y'all. I'll see y'all next Saturday or something. Deuces.